Okay, I'm a little bit into this already, but I was looking up some videos and I saw that there's not really a lot about this Tuson sway control system. So I thought I'd make a video about it just to show how it gets hooked up. And after we've got it hooked up, we've got a pretty big trip planned in a couple days, so I'll let you know how it works. But what I've done so far is I've extended the length of the wires because they don't give you very much that comes on it. And what you have to do is hook, your blue one is your trailer brake control from your vehicle, your black is your battery power, and your white is a ground to the frame. And our junction box is right up front here, so I've run them into here and hook them to the appropriate locations. The ground and the power I've already hooked up. I gotta do the trailer brake. And then I had to extend the pink wire here and the purple wire, which I still have to do the heat shrink on, you can see. And I couldn't find pink, so I used some red wire just to be able to identify them. But they separate each side of the trailer. So you're gonna have a left and a right brake instead of having just one brake that does both sides. So I've got them run down. We're gonna run them under the frame there. And once I start hooking up at the wheels, I'll take a video of that. Okay, so we got up here tidied up. Got the loom covering that up. I've got my junction spot here. Doesn't look the greatest, but it should work fine. We're gonna run down under here. Got my other wires running back. And this is the blue one that will get hooked up, which on my box here, it will go here. This line will get disconnected because this is currently the line that's sending the signal back to the brakes. So this one will get disconnected, this one will get put on. But for the time being, I need to leave this on, hook my vehicle up, and do some testing because all of the wires back at the brakes back there are all the same color. So I need to figure out which one is positive, which one is negative, and then separate them out and hook everything up, and then we can test it. Okay, so we've got the vehicle running now. I have my wife push the brake. And as you can see, that one is our power. And that one is our ground. So the black stripe is the ground one. Okay, now we've got them tested and we know the one with the black stripe is our ground. We want the power side, but they've got them tied together here because this brown one goes into the axle here and across to the other side, and we need to separate them. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut these here, and then I'm gonna wanna tie the other axle into this green one. So I'm gonna wanna tie both green ones together and then both brown ones together with my, what will be red and purple wires. So we'll get to work on that, and then we should be ready to test the system. Okay, I got all the wires ran. I was debating about the best way to do it. I ended up dropping the underbelly down back here. I was gonna run them along the frame rail. I just decided I didn't like that idea in case there's ever a blowout or it's throwing rocks. I didn't want it to mess up any of my wiring for the brakes. Seems like a big safety issue, so I did drop the underbelly down. Took a lot longer than I thought. It was really not bad, but I was planning to knock this out in like an hour or so, and it's definitely gonna take longer this way, but it's a better job to do. So they're coming out where the original brake lines came down. These are the two for the rear axle that I will clip off of here. Again, I need to separate the green and brown into the purple and red for independent side control. And this is my jumper one coming back from the front up there. As you can see, I got 2 red and 2 purple. I'll join them together with the green and the brown up there. And the jumper comes through the underbelly back to here. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Again, I didn't see very many videos on this, and the one couple I saw were long, but they were also not super helpful for the wiring part. It's not hard to wire, but for somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing and wants to do it themselves, this seems helpful. So this is what needs to happen if you've got a tandem axle. If you've got a single axle, you wouldn't need the jumper wire. You would just have the ones coming back from the control unit at the very front by the tongue there, and then coming back to here, dropping down to your axle. And then for the tandem, you have to have a jumper that comes back to here. We're going to get everything connected now that I've got all the wiring run, and get the underbelly resecured and test it out. Okay, so we want this one. Get out of the way. And on the diagram, purple is the curb, or the driver's side, rather. I think in terms of slack, we're gonna get some conduit for this later, but I think we're just gonna leave what we got on here for this one. So we'll strip this. This. Nice and tight. Oop, right there. It's a little extra long, but that's all right. Slide that on. Okay. Nice and tight, and then we'll shrink that down a little bit. The brown, which will go to our red. All right, get the heat gun and shrink that down. Be good to go. Okay, we've got everything hooked up just to test it out. We've got our solid green light like we're supposed to, which means everything's working just as it should. I'm gonna finish tidying things up, and then we'll test tow it around the block just to make sure everything's working properly. I just wanted to take a quick second to tell everybody my impressions of the sway control system. We've been using it now for about 6 months. Since I hooked it up in the spring, we've gone on several trips, probably over 1,000 miles, actually well over 1,000 miles. And it's been great the whole time. We've gone through rain, we've gone through wind, we've gone, long distances. It's made a heck of a difference, especially when passing semis or semis passing us. That's the biggest difference I've noticed. It goes nice and straight. You don't feel a big pull anymore. I definitely recommend it if you're thinking about it at all.